Shalom, shalom, shalom. Welcome to the Renaissance Woman Show. I am your host, Renaissance Woman, aka Ren Judith, and I'm here to finally get to this stream called Human Resources and the games that they play. So, you guys know we've been doing a leadership series here, and at the beginning we started talking about knowing, setting your intentions, and knowing your status in geography. And so we got into how to identify a toxic work environment and tools and tips that you can use. And we are going to finish up part two tomorrow of how to identify a toxic work environment. And I hope you guys are following us over on the Hebrew Woman Show, where we're doing this leadership series there as well. You know, I come from a faith-based perspective, and I share that and here as well as over there. But there is strictly we do a Sabbath show, and right now we are reading the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. And over here, I encourage you to follow that show to get those materials over there and follow this because it all comes together. Learning how to be a good leader and also understanding the dynamics of the workplace, how it works. And even if you're in leadership and you find yourself in a toxic work environment as a leader, or if you're an employee, because I want people to just get into a leadership mindset. Because especially for those of us who are followers of Christ, we are an example for the world. So you are showing up as the light of the world. People are watching you, right? And they're also watching you to criticize you. So that's part of it as well. You know, people want to make you guilty when because we say that Satan is like a roving lion seeking whom he can devour. People are always being used and trying to discredit you and devour you. They don't want to see you successful. And so part of this is about putting on the whole armor so that you can go forward and be successful. So I think one of the most important things that anybody should know about a toxic work environment before you is to document everything. And I've shared with you all a couple of tools that I use as far as journaling. If you have I would also say store things in a separate drive, get you a thumb drive, junk drive, or if you have an external Google account that you upload your documents onto. But anything that has to do with you being discriminated against, any emails that will contribute to you showing and demonstrating what is happening to you, you have to have all of that, and you have to have it separate. You have to download those emails and upload them to your external storage because if and when if it possibly happens that they decide that you are a risk and getting rid of you is the best course of action and you're locked out of your computer at work, guess what? You can't go get those emails to prove anything. You can't go download dates and things on your calendar that you feel are relevant. All of this needs to be done in advance. But here we're going to examine human resources and how they function and how, whether you're in leadership or you're an employee, how you can protect yourself as an employee so that you don't make the mistakes that I see a lot of people make. And I will even say mistakes that I've made in the past when dealing with human resources because you're not thinking about those things. Most people, when you go to work, you're not thinking about litigation. You're not thinking, I'm going to sue my boss. I'm going to sue my employer. You're not thinking about that. You just want to go to work because 9 times out of 10, you got this job. And more than likely, it's a job you were praying for, you were happy to get. You are there for a reason. You ended up at that job for a reason, right? And more than likely, hopefully, it's because that's where you wanted to be, or even where if you temporarily have to be. You're there for a purpose, right? And so we got to talk about how to protect yourself. And so we will continue with the leadership series. Set your intentions. What are you there for? So if you don't know why you're there, that's something you need to. What is your why, right? What is your status? Where are you? What is your geography? Where are you? Where are you going, right? Top 10 reasons HR is not your friend. Number one, human resources works for the company, not you. Their primary role is to protect the organization from liability, not to advocate for employees. Did you hear me? They're not there to advocate for your rights. They're not there to make sure every little thing is going to be all right for you. That is your responsibility. You have to advocate for yourself. So, and one of the most important ways you are going to do that is by knowing the rules. If you have not read your company's rules, if you have not read your handbook, if you don't know the policies and procedures and the mission statement, I would admonish you all to make sure that happens this week. Let's all start working on that. And even if you've read it in the past, I even said for myself, I'm going to make sure these next 2 weeks for me is going to be all about reviewing and making sure I'm up to speed and that I'm, because you're going to need a refresher. Time is going to go on. You're not going to have that handbook memorized, okay? You're not going to have every memo that you get sent in an update to do. You're not going to have all that memorized. So always set aside time to update and familiarize yourself with policy. Anytime, I don't care if everything is peaches and cream for you right now on your job. Anytime you see anything that is not quite right, you hear anything that's not quite right, that's when you want to take the time to write it down, especially instances of discrimination. And hey, you may not use it. You may not even need it. But guess what? It's better. It's like insurance. It's better have and not need than need and not have, okay? So write it down. Write up those instances. And I'll tell you another thing, when you can document that when you can show in court, if it is up there that you've been documenting this from the beginning, it goes better for you because it doesn't look like, oh, I'm making these accusations in retaliation to being terminated. So you want to keep that log, you want to keep that journal, you want to have that digital footprint, and you want to have it now. Okay? Hey, Char Willie, how are you? So, and I'm even going to, let me drop the link down there in case you want to come up. You're always welcome to come up and share your perspective. But yeah, so you want to make sure you have those things right where you need them. Okay? Number 2 bullet point here, this is the second bullet point here. They're not neutral, they're strategic. So human resources really has a way of coming across as benign, don't they? Like they're just here to, I'm happy to help. What do you need today? They're always smiling. They're always happy to sit. That's part of the customer service front, right? But keep in mind, they're not there to assist you. They're there to hear what you have to say because their job is to protect the company. So yeah, and now we're going to go to the second point. They document more than they defend you, okay? Every complaint you make becomes part of your file. You understand that? Your employee file that's going with you throughout this organization has every complaint that you file. They can and will use your words against you later. So when you go in there and talk to human resources, they will make you feel comfortable. They're going to offer you water. Who knows? Somehow they might even have snacks in there. And they're going to talk to you like they're your best friend. Do you know why they're softening you up? You just put yourself on radar. You see that little bullseye there? That's you. Pinged right there. You put yourself on bullseye, right? You're on target. So everything you say, they're documenting it. And it can and will be used against you later. Shalom, Zale, I see you down there. Number 3, they're trained to minimize risk, not solve problems. HR's goal is often to contain the issue, not resolve it. Let's keep this internal often means let's bury it. You see this guy digging this hole? That's for your body to go in, okay? They're going to bury. They want this to go away. And a lot of times making this issue go away means making you go away. So keep that in mind when you go in there because I've done it. I've seen other people do it. When you go, and even when you go complain to your supervisor, and then when you get to the point where you just go, I'm going to human resources. A lot of times you're going in there and you're emotional. And you're running your, and they're letting you talk. They want you to get it all out. They want to hear everything. Because guess what? They, just like you signed that paperwork and you agreed to do that job, they signed an agreement as well. And in some cases, for some of you, you took oaths that you were going to perform these duties, right? That means they're going to do their job, and that's to protect this organization. So they need to hear everything you got. Empty it out. They want you to empty out so they can build their case. They need all the evidence, and you're going to go right in there and give it to them. And you know what they're going to work on doing? Once you leave out of there, they're going into cleanup mode, and they're going to figure out how they can bury the situation. And that includes burying you if they need to. They will smile. Number 4, they will smile while setting you up. Friendly tone, professional language, but behind the scenes, they're building a case. I can tell you, they're building a case. That casual check-in might be a prelude to discipline. Because guess what? This is how you got to go. And so now that you put yourself on radar, we're going to start building the case against you. We're asking your supervisor, let us see her file. Have you had any complaints about how is her performance? All of that. Number 5, they don't keep secrets. What you share in confidence may be shared with leadership. HR is not a therapist, and confidentiality is limited. These people are not your friends. You're not going in there to talk to some therapist, and you think you're going in there, well, between me, there is no between me and you. I'm here to protect the company. So what you say can and will be used against you to defend this place, okay? They will coach your manager before coaching you. HR often works with leadership to manage difficult employees because guess what? You're complaining. You're a problem. You might be the topic of a strategy meeting before you even know there's a problem. So they're talking about how do we bury this situation strategically? How do we get rid of this problem? How do we make him or her go away? So we're going to coach the supervisor. A lot of times people think when they go complain to human resources, and if the behavior is problematic, yes, they will tell your supervisor to stop it. Because again, they're in the business of mitigating, okay? Because they don't want to be litigating. So they're going to tell them to stop. But just keep in mind, you're smug. You're going down there, yeah, they told her to leave me alone. Yeah, they're leaving you alone for right now because now your supervisor has help because they're going to help him or her build a case against you. I want you to document everything they do. If she does one little thing wrong, I want you to write it down and start progressive discipline. Let's see if we can write this position out of the budget next year. We need to downsize. They will, oh, I'm not on the schedule this week. Wait a minute. Oh, we had to cut hours down, They will politely write you out of the schedule. Okay? And it might not happen right away. It'll be a slow fade. They will slow fade on you, okay? That is their whole purpose, to make you go away. And you won't even know what's happening. They'll be in there, your supervisor is being friendly, and you're like, oh, I didn't know anything was wrong. I thought we were cool after I went and told human resources. First of all, a lot of supervisors, especially if you have a problematic boss, right? They're not all of a sudden going to become cool and non-problematic. No, they're mad. First of all, you done went in there and you done told on me. Oh, I'm going to get you back. I'm going to get you back. Yep, I'm going to be friendly, professional. You just wait because you don't even know. Well, I got something in store for you. They're not your friend. They're waiting on you to slip up. Just waiting. Oh, I'm missing a slide here. No. Oh, here we go. All right, number 7. They're not equipped to handle trauma or conflict. Most HR reps are not trained in emotional intelligence or conflict resolution. That's the reason why a lot of times when you need mediation, they go where? You don't go to human resources for mediation. Did you notice that? They send you to an outside source. They have outside mediation. Or they send you where? To the EAP, Employee Assistance Program. They're not counselors. They may mishandle sensitive issues, especially involving discrimination or harassment. You darn right they're going to mishandle it because guess what? Again, they are into mitigating. They're not there to help you. They're there to help the company. And you darn right I'm going to have mishandle this because I don't want you going to file a discrimination suit against me or this company. So we're going to minimize this harassment. Are you sure it's harassment? Well, do you got any proof? And they'll tell you in a minute, oh, this is a he said versus she said situation. They have no problem with doing that. They use policies to protect the company, not the people. Policies are written to shield the company from lawsuits. not ensure fairness. This is if you went to work thinking that you were there to get a fair shake, I need to shake you awoke, okay? That's not what you're there for. You're there to help them carry their mission forward, not your mission. Your employer has a mission that they're trying to achieve. They have numbers that they're trying to reach. And if you aren't part of that, you're not part of that solution, you're part of the problem. You gotta go. They use policies and procedures to protect the company, not the people. I have to read that one more time. Policies are written to shield the organization from lawsuits, not to ensure fairness. Life is not fair. This is not about being fair. We're just following protocol. It's often a deflection. Hey, I didn't make this up. These are the company rules. This is what we do. Number 9, they may be involved in your exit strategy. You know how we talked about if you recognize that you're in a toxic work environment and you need to start working on your exit strategy? Well, don't worry about it. I'm not telling you to work on your exit strategy because I want you to be downtrodden and just give up. I'm telling you that because more than likely they're already building their exit strategy for you. HR is often the architect of terminations, layoff, and quiet firing, writing you out of the schedule, writing you out of the budget. It happens. They will do it. If they're suddenly very attentive, something may be brewing. And other things you got to notice, if all of a sudden you find yourself not being invited to key meetings, and it's, oh, I accidentally left you out of that. Oh, I thought I added you to that. Or, oh, I forgot to put you on the schedule. This may be the sign that they are working on your exit strategy. Char says big numbers and dollars are their goal. That's it, and that's all. That is what they are there for. They're not there to make your life better. This company was not created to improve your life. Zell says this is true. We needed to remember this. Thank you, Zell. I thank you so much for the super chat. That is right. We all need these reminders. I need these reminders. And I tell you guys all the time, when I'm talking to you guys, I'm talking to myself because I need these reminders. And I'm just coming on here to share what I'm experiencing because I want you to have the tools that I didn't have or that I wish I had or that I'm working on for myself. And that is why this leadership series is so important for me. And I want you guys to get these books. Like I said, for here, I want you guys to get The Value in the Valley. And I also want you to get the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. We previously did the 21 Indisputable Laws of Leadership. Go over to the Hebrew Woman's Show and check it out. I'm going to post the link in the description to those channels. Please follow us on this leadership journey. It's just so important that we know how to show up and that we are aware of how we're showing up. Number 10, they're watching your digital footprint. That goes for me. Yes, me. Sitting up here doing content creation. You got to watch what you say on social media. People get fired every day because of social media. Go read your company's social media policy. If you're going to talk about situations at work, make sure you're not being too specific. Make sure you talk in general. And for goodness sake, make sure you're not on there saying anybody's name. Make sure you're not on there saying my boss, my supervisor this. Because guess what? Somebody may look up where you work and then they'll go share it with your supervisor. Your employee is on the internet talking trash about you. That happens every day. Emails, chats, calendar invites. HR has access to this. Every organization that you belong to, they tell you your emails are not private. That means they are checking out your emails. They're seeing who you're talking to. So I hope you're not having certain type of conversations on your company's computers. I hope you're not watching certain types of videos and doing personal business and searches on your company's email or on their internet. They're watching your digital footprint. Do not do personal things on the company computer. Don't do it. They're watching your emails. They're watching your chats, your calendar. They're seeing who you're meeting with, who you're talking to. Don't assume your digital communication is private. Anything you're doing on company email It's basically you're doing it in the public. So behave accordingly. Charles says, do not think that their Slack, Discord, matter most are not being read. Exactly. If you're doing it on their computer, they're watching it. They're reading it. They know about it. And you need to be clear about that. So here's some things I want you all to consider before I get out of here. Matthew chapter 10 and 10 says, be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. You got to be wise. You got to pay attention to how you're moving because guess what? They're paying attention to you. HR may appear harmless, but wisdom is your protection. Make sure you are around wise counsel, people who care about you, people who will tell you when you're tripping and you're not right. And a lot of times that's not going to be your coworkers. Oh, and Zell says this also includes logging into the company Wi-Fi on your phone. That's right. They can see it. If you're using their stuff, they can see it. So just watch it. HR may be polite, responsive, and even warm, but that doesn't mean they're loyal to you. Ask yourself, have I mistaken courtesy for advocacy? What boundaries do I need to reinforce to protect my peace? And sometimes protecting your peace means stop oversharing. We get comfortable at work because it starts to feel like a family environment. It starts to feel like home because you just set your office up the way you want it. You're comfortable. People are coming to you. You're talking to them and you're sharing things. But what we need to remember, every conversation with HR and coworkers is a potential record. Reflect on how much personal detail you've discussed at work, whether casually or formally. Would I be comfortable with seeing those words in a termination report or legal file? Yes, a termination report or legal file. Watch what you're saying to people at work. Your coworkers, you guys, we just did that show. Your coworkers are not your friends. If this goes to litigation, they are going to call your coworkers as your employees. As their witness. And guess what? They want to keep their jobs. So they're not going to testify for you on your behalf. Now, do you have some people who will go and tell the truth? Sure. But guess what? They're going to be very careful about what they say because they want to keep their jobs. The next one I want you to consider. What assumptions have I made about HR? How can I protect my peace and position moving forward? And I can tell you, shut up. That's how you can protect it. Stop talking. Gossip, avoid it. Anybody comes to you with it, tell them, even if you have to say, you know what, I just joined a 10-day challenge, a 30-day challenge where I have to stay away from all gossip. As a matter of fact, let's just go ahead and create that challenge right now so you won't even be alive. I challenge you to go 30 days. We're going to start with 30. Go 30 days without gossiping at work. If anybody comes to you and tries to gossip, say, oh, you know what? I can't participate in this conversation because I made a vow. And if you're doing it, say so in the chat. Send us an email at sister7@gmail.com. Tell us that you've taken up the mantle. You're taking on the challenge. You are going to avoid gossip at work. I'm going to do this with you. So guess what? There we go. Let's take on this challenge. No gossip at work. You don't want Char. That's right, Char. Be quiet. One of the things, especially I know as a woman, we talk too much. I know. I love to run my mouth. I'm always talking. I'm learning now to shut up. And for you all who are supervisors and you're in a toxic work environment, you are going to be talking to and coaching your teams. Make sure you're professional. Your teams are going to show you. So be careful. Everything that they're doing wrong, I guarantee you, if you're honest and you really look at yourself, it's because you're doing it. They will show up as a mirror for you. Use your team. Use the people who hate on you at work. Those people who are mad at you for being promoted. Use that as fuel. They will make you better. Instead of being sensitive and emotional about it, when they come at you, you say thank you. Look at it as power pellets, okay? Sonic coins, power up, okay? Use that as fuel because I guarantee you, all the criticism, all those negative comments, use that to adjust. When your supervisor comes at you with petty stuff, don't get mad, use it to adjust. Everything that they come at you with, you use it to get better. You are not a victim. You are a victor. I didn't set this up for you to come off and have a woe is me mentality. Oh, they're after me. Human resources isn't going to help me. All I'm saying is, I'm sorry, let me get it straight. All I'm saying is when you go and make your complaint, if you decide that human resources is the way to go, make sure all your T's and I's, T's across, I's are dotted. Make sure you already have that stuff on the external drive. Just because something is immoral, wrong, does not make it illegal. So know before you go. Before you go file that complaint, that harassment complaint, does it meet the legal standard for harassment? Somebody being mean to you, even somebody yelling at you, is not illegal. You don't have a case. But you may need to work on your exit strategy. Because if disrespecting you and talking to you crazy, okay, absolutely not. But if this is the culture here, if this is how they roll here, guess what you got to do? You're going to have to be like the Autobots and roll out. You can't, that is not your company. You are an employee. You're a visitor here, and you can go at any time. At any time, you can be escorted out, okay? And that's just real talk. A lot of these things are things I had to learn the hard way. Don't do that. Take this and consider it. Consider these journaling prompts so you can be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. Thanks for watching. You guys have a good night. We're taking on this leadership mantle, and we are going to lead with purpose because we know prosperity is on the other side. And this is our time. Shalom.